Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. This is Missy. Thanks for joining me again. And today's layout is for the Cut Shop. And it's a special layout because a lot of the team members have paired up with Scrapbook Circle this month. And we're using the June kits and some cut files mixed together. And this is the June kit from Scrapbook Circle, and it's really bright and fun, lots of fun colors and patterns. And it's got a lot of travel themed elements in it. And so I'm scrapping a travel themed picture. And it's a picture of me and two of my very good friends from our Las Vegas trip last March. And we're standing on the bridge between MGM Grand and New York, New York. And the strip, all the lights and all the hotels are behind us. And it's at night, so it's, you know, kind of blurry. You can't really make out specific details from the picture from this far away, but it's all those bright shiny lights behind us there. And so I'm using this cut file to begin with, and I just cut it on a cream colored cardstock, and I'm using it as a background element. And I have all the cut files that I used at the end of this video, so you can get all their proper names and what they look like and everything in case you want to get them. And I wanted to use this one for a while, and I just like the funky shape of it. It's really cool, and I wanted to use it as a background element here. And so I really liked that authentique paper, and it's got all kinds of fun geometric shapes and color blocking going on there. And I like the brightness of it, and I wanted to make that a major element of my page. And now I'm just taking some of the other papers and creating some coordinating layers behind my picture. And I choose a little bit of yellow, a little bit of that teal color, and this sheet is kind of reddish pink tones. Really not a lot of pink going on in this layout, but I like the way it contrasts there. And so a lot of elements on this page are going to be vertical. And this is one of my favorite parts of this kit, is this airplane vellum. I think that's from the Journey collection from Crate Paper, and it's super fun because it's vellum, and I love vellum. Now here I changed my mind. I decided to turn that pink reddish paper over and use the other side, and I'm taking my Peacock Feathers Distress ink here and trying to blend away some of the words on this paper because, as you can see, it says, you know, it's about rain. Butterflies, umbrellas, sunshine, mud. I think the word mud is on there. And this layout is not about anything to do with butterflies or mud or rain or flowers. So I wanted to kind of blend those away, and I mainly was just using it for the color. And in the end, it doesn't really matter. You can't really tell what it says anyway. So I am going to add a little bit of ink and paint elements to this. And so I'm taking my white gesso and just adding some white here. So when I add my color, it will not just seep right through that pattern paper. And I'm going in with some Distress ink. I've been using my Mermaid Lagoon quite a bit lately. I love that blue color. It's probably one of my favorite shades of blue ever, I think. And I don't add a whole lot here, but I do make a little bit of a mess. And I just use the packaging technique and the napkin dabbing technique, if that's even a technique, which probably not. That's Peacock Feathers. I just wanted a couple of different shades of blue here on the right. And I like the way the background die cut is going to be peeking out from underneath everything that I wind up using. It's just gives it some interest and some texture, and it's not overwhelming. And by adding that gesso and the ink here, it kind of blends it away, and so it's not nearly as, you know, in your face as some other elements maybe, if that makes any sense. So this is a second cut file that I'm using, and I know this one was created for a set that Ashley made for our National Scrapbooking Day event on the Cut Shop blog. and that one's still available to get. And I'd actually cut it a while ago and never wound up using it, and so I thought this might be the perfect layout to use it, and I wanted to back it with something with lots of color, and so I picked that little area of that authentic paper that I used in the background, and I make it and I like it, and then I think, I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I don't know where it's going to go at this point, so I kind of toss it to the side, and at that point I had not planned on even using it. I was like, it just isn't going to go. But it does come back, so I add my tissue paper behind my picture just because I like doing that. Gives it a little bit more of a messy border. And the good thing about the tissue paper is you can smush it, bend it, rip it, fold it, whatever you want. That little red globe is going to haunt me throughout this layout. I try it in several different places and then take it off. Put it back on, take it off. Put it back on, take it off. And we'll see if it finally stays or if it goes away for good. So I tape everything down because I've decided that that's where it's all going to go. And now I'm going to come in with embellishments. There's a huge embellishment pack in this kit from the Atlas Pink Paisley line, and it's got all kinds of die cuts and acetate pieces, and very, very cute. All right, so at this point I think I'm going to use that red globe, and so I get a die cut, get a pop dot, and stick it down. This is the fun part. I've never tried this before. I used another one of Ashley's cut files. It's alpha letters, and I cut the word Vegas on white cardstock, and I wanted it to be that reddish orange color that is in that authentic paper. So I pull out my Prima watercolor pencils and I'm just coloring in the letters while they're still stuck on my Cameo sticky mat. And I keep working at it until I get the shade of orangey red that I want. And I will definitely do this again because it worked out great. It kept the paper flat, nothing warped. It did nothing to my cutting mat as far as ruining it or getting it wet. I peeled up the paper, and then I got out my little trusty spatula that I've had since my Cricut days, and easily pull. Now I had to be really careful when I did this because the paper was wet and it was just cardstock, and I didn't put any gesso or anything on it. But I was very pleasantly surprised at how easy that was to customize my letters there. And you could do that with anything that you cut. If you cut it on white and you want to color it, I'm sure this would be the same if you use mist or paint or gelatos or whatever. Oh, there's that red globe again. Stay tuned. Oh, there it goes. It's reminding me of that camera that I never used from the March hip kit. It's still waiting on me to use it. We'll see what happens. So my title's going to be Vegas Adventure. I had to be careful here because, you know, I couldn't wait for these to dry. So they were still kind of damp, and they did stick okay once I got my adhesive on the back. And I'm going to pair the word Vegas with these cute little craft cork alphas that say adventure. And I was very pleased with how that turned out. I was like, hey, I need to do that again. Because sometimes, I think I cut most of my cut files on white because when I cut them, I'm not sure. Oh, I have to tell you about this. That's my big tangled wad of cord, and I can never find the end. I keep it in a bag, and why can't I keep the end sticking out of the bag so I know where it is? That would be too easy. So no. Every time I want the cord, I have to dig out that huge wad of cord and sift through it until I find the end. Oh, I'm so unorganized sometimes, I tell you what. So I used the cord on the end of that clear acetate tag and cut it in half because I couldn't fit the whole thing behind my picture, and I didn't want to waste the bottom of it because it had some interesting colors and shapes, or not shapes, but pattern on it. And I stuck it underneath the picture on the left-hand side there. And I'm just going through the embellishments here. And all the acetate pieces in this pink paisley pack have like a clear piece of plastic, plastic coating on them that you have to peel off. And I'm not sure why, because it's not adhesive. It's not like a sticky back or anything. It's just, I guess it's like a protective coating. I don't know, but you have to peel it off if you want it to be, 100% clear or see-through, transparent. So now I'm going to come in with some thread and tuck a little bit in here and there. And I could fiddle with thread forever. I cut a lot of this out because I did a lot of fidgeting with thread, and I did a lot of fidgeting with, oh look, there it is again, the globe. Peel off the backing or the front. See, it's just like a little piece of plastic there. Oh, and it went away again. There's the tag. The tag is back. I do use it. And I did give it a little coating of ink on top of the white because I cut it in white. And the background cut file I cut in a cream color. So I didn't want that tag to be stark white. So I did go over it with a little bit of brown ink, just lightly, just to give it a little bit of color. And I'm going to use some of the flare that came in the kit. But I didn't realize that it was an actual pen with a actual needle, or that's not a needle, I guess it's just a pen. So I stick it through one of my pop dots there, and that was the best way I felt to adhere it, and it worked out great. And I'm going to just layer it there under my picture and then add in a couple more little doodads, as I like to call them. And I like to staple these acetate pieces because sometimes if you glue them or use tape, you can see right through the clear, and sometimes you don't want that. So I'm going to add in my journaling, and hopefully it's getting close to the end. I'm glad the tag made it back because I really like how it looks with the paper behind it. So that's a total of 3 cut files that I used on this layout. That's a strip of cute little date stickers that come in this Scrapbook Circle kit. And so I decided to just handwrite my title and use one of those. I didn't want to smear the ink, so put a piece of paper over it to press it down. Now I'm going to come in with some color shine, and I think that's going to wrap it up. That poor little red globe, it did not make it onto the page. I tried several times, as you could see, but it just did not work. And I will be saving it for another layout. Maybe that little red globe and the camera can go on the same page together. We will see, we will see. Anyway, there is the final product. I really like the colors. I like how the cut files look. And I did add some stitching there, of course. I always do that. I forgot to mention that. So hopefully you enjoyed this. Make sure you visit the Cut Shop and check out Scrapbook Circle. Their website is scrapbookcircle.com. Lots of fun kits to check out there. And here come the cut files I use. Hip to be Square is the name of that one. I couldn't think of it. Etc., etc., etc. And the last one is coming up. It is some alphas. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time. Have a great day.